having the first ever kwentuhang may kabuluhan about a movie. Okay? Again, the usual suspects are here. Ako,
Yeah.
Coach Tony Agudo, and Rosel. Introduce yourself, Coach Rosel.
Hi, this is Rosel Swan.
Yes,
Welcome to our usapang
may
may
kabuluhan.
kabuluhan.
May kabuluhan talks.
Yeah, may kabuluhan talks.
Alin ba talaga?
Diba? Oo nga, ano ba
Our
talaga?
staff,
We will figure out one
training
day.
and future Vice President also, Miss Gay. Introduce
yeah.
yourself. Just say hi. And, you know, you're in mute. You're in mute, Gay.
Yeah. Hi. I couldn't quite hear. It's so noisy.
Baka naka-ano si Gay sa ano kasi dahil naka-electric fan siya. Sige. So anyway, let's excuse Gay. Okay ka na, Gay? That's Gay. Medyo may problema. Yun, yung may problema siya sa audio. Hindi ka naka-mute, ha? You don't have any signal. Okay, so and finally our all-around guy and director and vice president of Unipromedia and Unipro Academy, Mr. Victor De La Riva. Say hi.
Yeah. Hello. And the last but not the least, you're all around utosan. I'm Victor. You can call me Your Excellency or Your Highness. Bahala ka. But my friends call me Coco. Hi guys. Welcome to the show.
One thing I can say about this group, kaya nagsama-sama to is because of the common desire to improve ourselves, and also achieve things, because we're not, on the average, like ang nagtitip lang ng scale towards the young end is si Gay.
Yeah, tayo nasa
Anyway.
other side of the spectrum na pa.
Exactly, tayo, we're like, it's like yung shirt ni Nas na yung battery, 'di ba? Kanya 30%. Diba?
Pagka nag-zero yon, balik ka ba sa pagkabata?
Sana reset, no? Parang isekai story. So that's I'm a manga fanatic. So anyway, guys, excuse me, meron akong konting cough because of the VOG. That's a new term I learned just recently. It's volcanic smog. So 2 days ago, of course, kaka-vaccine ko pa lang. And parang kinakati yung lalamunan ko and everything. Tapos, when I looked outside, I couldn't see past Cubao. Sobrang foggy. I thought it was fog. And then, I posted it. And then, yun nga, nag-reply sila. Sabi nila, there's actually volcanic smog from Taal Volcano. Nagre-release siya ng sulfur dioxide. So, sabi ni Direk Vic is that pag sa higher elevation, mas medyo mataas yung sulfur dioxide. So, I opened my windows and everything. Hindi ko akalain na gano'n. So, I got this cough right now. Coupled with the vaccine din siguro. So, asthmatic. So, medyo nahirapang huminga. Pero,
lakas pa naman ang hangin dyan.
Malakas ang hangin dito. Tsaka talagang pag I usually open the front door para nag-exchange yung air. So, ganun talaga. I got it straight to myself na may asthma pa. So anyway, I hope you guys weren't affected by the bug.
Ako a little. Actually, dati okay lang ako sa umaga, but the last couple of days when I wake up, I get a little cough. So
Ayun.
Yeah, diba? That's why tinitira ko agad ng NAC, N-acetylcysteine.
Diba? Hindi pa yata nawawala eh. The images still keep showing. Of course, we can't actually see sulfur dioxide, and yung hindi ka makakita, that's actually a very high and dangerous level, especially for people who have COPD or asthma like me.
Actually,
amazing na wala.
Noong 2018 nga, we had some of the worst air pollution index in Manila. This was even before, di ba?
The Taal thing. Meron pa Taal, di ba?
I was already wearing a mask. There's a brand called the Vogue mask. Talagang Vogue mask ang pangalan niya. It's actually N99 rated. Mataas pa dun sa I was already wearing that in 2018.
So you were in Vogue.
I was in Vogue.
You're in Vogue.
Pero maganda siya actually. It was good.
How does it look like?
It looks like, well, originally it looked like the same as any telemask, yung binibenta ngayon, except that it had N99 filters.
Okay.
N99 filters on both sides.
Oh,
But
tama,
now,
meron
since,
yung N99, hindi 95.
but now, since di ba, they're recommending na wala na yung valves. So now it
Yeah.
has no valve. It looks a lot like the usual ones, except it's N99 rated. Hindi siya yung cloth
Yeah, meron
mask.
pang ano before.
Before the explosion back in 2020 and before the pandemic, most people are already wearing masks. I did before.
Yeah, di ba?
Which I think
You were already ready pala, no?
Yeah.
actually, in terms of nagbago din kasi ang culture. Remember, pag nakamask ka, you were ostracized. Ano ba to?
Kung nakamask ka, magnanakaw dating mo.
Di ba? Ganon. Ngayon, pag hindi ka nakamask, ngayon ka titingnan na masama, di ba?
Pare, I remember
nakamas.
before this was mandated, like this was Feb, di ba? I was
Yeah.
riding the MRT. Nakita ko lahat nakamask ka. Parang ako, feeling ko ako may sakit eh.
Di ba? Di ba? That's Anyway, so let's go to our main topic na.
Ay, may
So,
main topic nga pala tayo.
Oo. Di ba we watched the movie na pinost kasi ito muna ni Coach Rosel about, the takeaways from the movie called The Founder. So, it's a story about, sige, Coach Rosel, ikaw naman na magsalita. Tell us about the movie.
Yeah, actually, I watched the movie 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. It was about Ray Kroc, the supposedly, well, he claims that he was the founder of McDonald's, and even McDonald's company, what do you call that? Accept that naman because of what happened, diba, in the past. So it's a story about Ray Kroc, who used to be a traveling milkshake
Salesman.
machine salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was selling milkshake machine. But prior to that, he's a salesman na talaga na.
Yeah. Meron pa nga
Kind
paper
of,
cup, diba? He was also,
Yes, coffee. Yes. And then yun nga, one time, he encountered one of his customers na nag-order ng super daming number of milkshake machine from him. Eight machines ang nire-request. So nagulat siya, what is this company, what's this company's business all about? Of course, it's about restaurant, pero what is it that they're doing para mag-require ng ganung karaming milkshake machine? So he went there, he found out about the system and processes of McDonald's, the McDonald's brothers, and the rest is history because he was able to get it.
So started from there. It started from there, no?
Yeah, it started.
I have notes din eh. So I really took notes as I was on, and doon pa lang sa umpisa, I was blown away.
Yes.
When I saw them, oh my God, sila nag-umpisa ng professional kitchen.
Remember the part of the movie where they tried to do how they tried to, how do you call that? They were in the
They were simulating it.
Yes.
Yeah, oo, sa
tennis court.
Tennis court, yes. At the tennis court. Ang galing. They even count their steps.
Diba? They kept on rearranging the positions of the stations, diba? So doon ako na-blown.
Come to think of it, they did that for Ray Kroc na.
Oo, sila pala ang nag-conceptualize ng they revolutionized the whole food industry.
Without McDonald's, there'd be no Jollibee.
There'd even be no commissaries from the hotels or whatever, diba? It would just be kitchens that you'll have to wait 30 minutes to 1 hour for your food, diba?
Yes.
So sila yung nag-revolutionize.
Diba until now, meron pa rin mga
games are easier.
Meron yung
much
mga
faster, pero hindi pala.
Diba? Tapos, pati yung mga machines na na-invento because of them. Diba?
Yes.
Pati yung mga dispensers and whatever, talagang
Dispensers, yung mayonnaise and ketchup dispensers na talagang may knockers
Yung, parang barrel na,
Mm-mm.
so, yun ang naging impact sa akin. Nung sabi ko, umpisa pa lang sabi ko, oh, everybody's gotta see this. If you are,
I haven't been inside the kitchen of any fast food companies. I don't know
I
how they
used
do
to
it.
work in Jollibee. I used to work in Jollibee. So, when they trained us for management, I mean, dadaanan mo lahat ng mga luto ka, magbe-breading
Talaga?
ka, mag-dump ka ng chicken, ng fries, magpupunas ka ng mesa, lahat dadaanan mo talaga.
How are they doing it now?
That's basically the same. Technically. I'm not sure ngayon. Baka they changed it now. But may dispensers pa rin nung. May dispensers.
I'm still sure that they make a measured, when you make a measured squirt, yun lang yun. Because you have to measure.
It's manual.
Kung ilang manual.
Yeah, manual na siguro.
Manually activated yon. Meaning like similar to that device. Dahil kasi it's hard to do a measured, quantity by by hand. Lalo na napapagod ng kamay. So if you're like, kala mo ganito, you're like try doing that for thousands of times in a day, this will ache. So it's going to be hard to have the consistency. So kailangan yung mo lang consistent yung amount. So anyway,
even the counter that I don't know, I saw some guards, they're counting the number of people coming in the mall.
They were yun na yung mga unang
masakit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oo. Yung bumabaon na kasi yung bakal dito sa thumb nila.
Yes.
Di ba? So but in at any time guys, if you have like a perspective or something that you want to share. So yun, as it was going, pero before that pa kasi, before he went there, doon mo nakita ano ang drive niya. Diba? Because he could have just relaxed eh. Yun ang sinasabi ng wife niya, settle for this. That's what his friends were saying, settle for this. Because they were part of a country club. So hindi poor si Ray Kroc.
Yes, I noticed that. But then, some of their friends looked down on him. Diba?
You know why? Because he's into everything.
Jack of all trades.
Oo, he's trying. He's been, subukan ko to. Subukan ko naman to. That's not working. Dito naman ako.
Actually, guys, yung Jack of all trades, the saying na yan, they actually got it all wrong. The original saying is, a Jack of all trades is better than a master of just one.
Really?
That's the original saying.
Oh, okay. I'll look it up nga.
That's the original saying.
I would look at that because
it's the other way around.
Yes, that's the original saying.
They prefer to be a master of one thing rather than a master.
Bakit we were discussing nung Renaissance. The Renaissance men were masters of a lot.
Look at Da Vinci. He was the ultimate, di ba? He was the penultimate multitasker. Di ba? He was also ambidextrous. He's just really a talented person. So, anong tawag doon?
But then again, now, who has time for that?
There's nothing wrong with being a multitasker as long as you can manage each task that you're doing.
Pero ako actually, hindi ako masyado magaling sa multitasking. I found. I've been doing it because I easily get distracted. So I do this and then I do that. I do this and then in the end, wala ako natatapos.
Actually, I have
I can feel you.
Not theory, but I have an explanation for that. I don't know if this is where we should discuss it. Dito ba yan? O the founder muna pag-usapan na.
Founder na lang muna. Sige, but sige. So, let's take muna with the founder. That can be like, write it down para sayang kasi yung note eh. So, sayang yung idea. So, maybe you could like inject it in the future when we can reference that to another movie or another discussion.
Yeah.
So anyway, ayun yung naano ko na sobrang, alam mo yung sinabi doon, yung umpisa pa lang, persistence. Wow, that's really, kala ko dati joke lang yon. It was a joke. Alam mo yon, it was not meant to be taken seriously. What do you mean by that? When he was playing the audio discs, okay, that's what they call yung phonograph, di ba? Talking about persistence, it beats everything, blah blah blah, di ba? But where was he, di ba, during that that point. Parang parang ini-insinuate na ang sipag-sipag mo, wala ka pa rin. Eh, parang ang nangyayari ngayon, nadi-discredit yung nagsasalita from from the phonograph, di ba? So I was half expecting him to hurl the phonograph across the room, di ba? So, dahil kasi sobrang, I can't even imagine how many rejections Ray Kroc got, di ba, from selling the milkshake machine. So, yun yung nakita ko doon na parang tinay up nila towards the end na siya na ang nagsasalta. When he was successful na, he said that persistence beats talent, beats intelligence, whatever, di ba? So, yun yung yun yung education, di ba? So, yun yung isang mga takeaways ko from the first part. Anybody else?
Feels familiar ba, pare?
Actually, hindi pa naman kasi tayo. But ako, for me, it's more of like, I mean, okay, sige, maganda i-tie up din natin sa current situation natin, no? I'm like, there's the really impending sense of dread. But sabi nga nila, there can be no courage without fear. Diba?
Yes.
So if you are not at that point where you're freaking like, tama pa ba yung ginagawa ko? Inubos ko na lahat ng ganito or whatever. Diba?
Well, dude, actually, that was actually the point I was gonna bring up about about the anxiety and the multitasking thing. Kasi, actually, the reason we are multitasking is because we can't, our mind is working, that we're afraid that if we don't do something, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. But technically, that's the point of rest, eh. Diba? Kasi periodization yun, eh. But we're so afraid that we're not doing enough that we have to do something. Nangyayari, that your efforts will become sabog nga, eh. Diba? Because diba,
I found that that's the story of my life majorly. But yung talaga mga big achievements ko, pinag-usapan nga namin ni Vic kanina, yung I wanna set up ito rin in alignment with what is the founder. It's also about selling, eh. Diba?
Yeah.
And it's also about selling the right product or the product or the service or the ano ba yun? Basta sabihin mo na lang, product. Product si franchise. Diba? Yung franchise ng McDonald's was a product.
Yes.
And it was just a powerful product. And it's just a concept actually, eh. It's not anything material, eh. 'Di ba? It's not the land, it's not the binibili lang nung franchisee yung concept nung franchise. So habang kumikita yung franchise, nakikishare lang siya sa profit from McDonald's. But everything else is owned by McDonald's. Si McDonald's din ang nakaisip nung ganung klaseng franchise na walang pagmamay-ari, si franchiser.
Franchise. Pero I just want to recall, hindi naman si 'di ba? Si Ray Kroc yung originally na nakapag-isip ng franchise business. Si Sorbonne.
No, based on the research, there were actually there were several inaccuracies in the movie. But you gotta remember kasi, The Founder is not a documentary. It's a drama. So it's based on one book. It's only based on Ray Kroc's autobiography. And pare, what thing he got accurate was he is a great storyteller. Di ba?
Yeah, pero ito he did not claim that he invented franchising.
But he did, pare, remember the movie, what he claimed was he was the one who perfected it.
Yeah.
Or was better. But based on,
I could say he was the guy who took it to the next level.
That's one book. Remember, that's one book. There were others. There were other articles that came out about McDonald's. There was other books that came out McDonald's. And one inaccuracy is that he was the one who convinced the brothers to actively franchise, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Based on the movie, sabi ng movie na nag-fail yung franchise nila before. But on research, they were already actively franchising and they were successful.
Yes. Yes, that was also the movie.
okay.
And Ray Kroc
Prior to
came
the
in and
meeting,
applied
yeah.
for the job of franchise agent.
Yes.
Yun yung ano
Prior
niya.
to meeting with
Mm.
Ray Kroc, they've already been into franchising na eh. Kaya lang
Mm-mm.
parang some of the franchise stores nila did not grow kasi nga hindi sinusunod yung process nila
Yun nga yung inaccuracy
take
sa
and
movie.
map.
That's the
Yeah.
inaccuracy sa movie. They were
Mhm.
successful franchisors. But again,
Yes.
remember, it's sabi nga nila, sa kwento mo, ikaw ang bida. So, di ba, this book was
Hindi,
based
tsaka,
on, di ba?
written by the victor eh. It's
Di
written
ba?
by the
Ito yung kwento niya. So,
Diba?
bida siya, di ba?
Oo. So,
Yeah.
the story, the history is written by the victor. So,
Exactly,
it's,
exactly.
So,
Yeah, but we have to give him, props kasi pare, I mean, based on yun nga, on the research, their brothers were not really thinking on a worldwide scale.
that it can become that big.
Yeah, that's actually the
Yes.
things that they weren't thinking of that. They were
They were
actually,
they were ang tawag doon, limited thinkers. Hindi sila
Yes.
in a
big
sense,
thinkers
yeah,
talaga.
but technically speaking, they were happy where they were.
Yes.
Yun
Yes.
yung
Yeah, you
going
can say
back
that
to
they
yung
were
pinag-uusapan
successful.
natin kanina, di ba?
Mhm.
Kanina, sabi nga, I mean, Ray Kroc was still pushing even though he was relatively successful, di ba? So, yung
Yeah.
question nun is, what is your level of success? Where do you believe success is, what level that is, di ba? We all have our different,
achievement, di ba?
Siguro yung doon is, na when you are like Ray Kroc and you're talking to somebody who is not that level, nafa-frustrate siya, di ba? Kasi iba yung
Mhm.
iba yung pag-iisip niya, di ba?
Yes.
Nafa-frustrate siya, di ba? Parang minsan si Tony, when he's talking to me and I can't get his ideas, nafa-frustrate siya.
Likewise.
Ganun eh. Same way, di ba?
It's
And then,
ganun
but
eh.
eventually we
Talaga.
come
But
to
we've-
di ba?
Pero ang nangyayari naman kasi sa atin, we have this synergy na, mamaya nagiging mas maganda na ngayon yung idea. It matures. Dahil kasi yung perspective,
Yeah.
mamaya makukuha na, ito pala ibig sabihin, beautiful pala yan. So if we can integrate it this way, it becomes a
Yeah, yun yung
totally new
what's that?
Yeah.
What's that? Synergy ba?
Synergy.
Yeah.
So-
Pang ilang habit of effective people yun.
Actually, that's
7
part of the
habits.
team, eh. That's part of the team dynamics eh. So, so ang nakita ko dito, when you see something that wows you,
Alam ko book
in
ni
terms of
Rosel yun.
business,
Mhm.
not anything else, please. Go for it, whatever it takes, di ba? If you see something, and then if you feel something that, ako kasi, I have a feeling about what we're doing right now, and right now, as we're going through it, nag-uusap din kami ni Vic kanina, it's like, parang navavalidate, and in an ang tawag doon, parang mystical point of view. Do you know about like minsan mananaginip ka and later on, ay napanaginipan ko to Yung ganon. I have
Yeah.
that. And I'm talking with people that I don't know. And then later on, parang siya yun. Parang yan. Parang ganon. And then,
Yeah.
so it's like, this is like a landmark, di ba? On the roadmap that we should pass through. Okay? So, ayun. And yung double arches. That talks to me
The
about
double
branding.
arches, yes.
Diba? Ang galing actually ng concept ni Dick McDonald.
McDonald's, yes.
Na though hindi na siya ngayon yung arches because they consume a lot of space siguro, no? Nalilimit niya yung architecture ng building. Yung arches is in the McDonald's sign na lang,
Yeah.
diba?
Well, but do you know there's one like
It
that
became-
dito sa BGC?
It became letter M.
Talaga.
Do you know there's one that design sa may BGC?
I think I went there. Yung
Na
parang
ganun ang design?
nakatago sa may likod ng
McKinley.
uptown or something.
Sa may McKinley area.
Oo. So yun. So when I saw that, maganda kasi nung tinay up, nung nagsalita si Kroc about the arches. He said, think about the church. When you look at the
Yes.
building and then you see the church, you see the architecture of the church, you already know it's Catholic, you already know it's blah, blah, blah. When you see an institutional building, nakikita mo, it's already a government building or whatever. So,
Yes.
he wanted McDonald's to be the same. Kaya nung nakita niyo yung arch, yun ang, I mean, he's sharp. He's very, very
Yes.
astute as a businessman na-recognize niya yun. Parang, sinabi nga niya, it's the all-American church or something like that.
Yes. American culture.
Oo, so yun yung ano niya. So, which happened that McDonald's was the unofficial representative of American culture in the world. Actually,
Yes.
ganun ang nangyari.
And that's why he adapted the McDonald's name instead of his name, Kroc.
Yeah, di ba?
It doesn't,
maybe,
diba?
maybe for shoes, di ba? Maybe for shoes, di ba? Or sandals, di ba? Di ba?
It's all about branding kasi.
Yeah.
So pag ako kasi pag ganun, alam ni Vicky yan, matigas ang ulo ko minsan pag ano. And not minsan hindi tigas ng ulo, it's more of like I tend to forget a lot of things. That's always been my Waterloo na my memory is not as hindi talagang ganun. That's why I fail a lot of exams lalo na if I'm not interested in it. So, yun. Kaya okay, ano pa ba? Yung origin of the food service science, 'di ba? Yun nga yung arrangement. And the attention to speed and
Oh,
quality.
yeah.
Before kasi, if you wanted quality, you have to be in the nice restaurant and be prepared to wait 30 to 45 or 1 hour for a perfectly cooked slab of steak, the vegetables, and whatever.
Yes.
Ganun sila. Ganun talaga. And wala pa sa concept nila that you can have a really good burger in 30 seconds. Di ba? So, ano ang nakita ko dito? Ang nakita ko dito with ingenuity, speed and quality is more often than not available to anybody who would want to or need to implement that kind of results, no? Tapos ayun, kayo, ano pa yung mga takeaways ninyo?
You know, what I think I remember,
Sige, go ahead.
one thing that reminds me of this is that I remember somebody telling me that just because you start off on one journey doesn't mean that's where you're gonna end up.
True.
Diba? I mean, just because
Remember
you're
where we
working on
started
one,
and what we
diba?
wanted to do before.
Diba? Exactly. Like I have a story. I have a friend. Their business actually is in IT.
Mhm.
So, syempre, they were selling IT, diba? One time they went to this call center. Diba, nag-represent sila ng IT consulting nila sa admin.
Yeah.
And then, the manager says, probably the admin manager, okay to eh. Pero ang talagang hinahanap namin is yung magpo-provide ng mga pagkain para sa mga employees namin eh.
Yes.
Meron kami niyan! And that's where they ended up. Diba?
In the food business, suddenly.
Diba? Sabi ni Branson, pare, when somebody offers you an opportunity, say yes, then figure it out later. Diba?
Yes.
Oo.
Sabi niyan,
alam mo kaya yun, call center, let's say staff ng 2,000 people, papakainin mo, that's a lot of money in a daily basis.
Exactly, di ba? I mean, that may be one objective that you're looking at, but then, minsan napupunta ka dito eh. Di ba? Di ba?
So, Rosel, ano yung sa'yo?
I just remembered kasi 'di ba si Ray Kroc nung nakuha na niya yung franchise. Nung parang magaling siyang mag kilatis ng tao kasi remember sino yung assistant niya, yung associate niya. He was flipping burger then perfectly. Kaya natandaan niya, and he asked for his name, si Fred Turner.
Yeah.
Diba? I don't know if or because
meron akong feedback dyan. He was a good judge of character. And similar to me siguro, what I look for is attitude, and yun nga lang, di ko alam kung tama yun, pero because Ray Kroc, I believe he was the type of person na, I mean, hindi lang hinighlight ito dun sa movie, pero I think he was like a person who would say, it's my way or the highway.
Yes.
Ganong klase siyang tao eh. He's not the guy who is going to be like, maybe we can work it out, ganyan, di ba? Na to accommodate everybody. That's my problem actually. But it's also, I think, a good thing. But what I look for is actually yung genuineness nung tao na talagang, hey, are you really in this for the long haul or whatever? Pag ganon, then sige, let's try to make this work and be part of the team. But there are, and meron din namang mga problema. I mean, magsi-share na ako, no? May mga problema din naman na minsan gusto nung tao pero hindi capable. Okay? And also at the same time, hindi rin natin alam yung skill capacity, and
Yes.
also location can be a detriment. Pag malayo sila, you cannot constantly coach that person or those
Yes.
group of people. That's why you need really a powerful leader also eh. So if ever we're going to branch out, we'll need another, like for example, maybe pag medyo nag-mature na yung business model natin and we can already do a franchise or whatever, or selling it. I won't any which one of you guys, I think kahit itapon natin sa Visayas or Mindanao, you guys will know, from the back, like the back of your hand, na itong sasabihin or whatever, and then laro na lang kumbaga. So yun ang that's the skill part. But in terms of attitude wise, ako sa akin, it's like kung medyo abrasive yung tao and medyo prideful and parang hindi alam mo yun, yung parang a personality that can, will hurt people. Yung mga ganon. There are some personalities we've had like that. Diba,
Yeah.
Gay?
May ano kayo? May ganun ba?
I refuse to comment on the grounds that you might incriminate me.
I
Minsan
know
mahirap yung
some
ganon.
people talaga na ganyan nga.
I mean, pero that's that's if you're a businessman and you're trying to or kahit na employee ka and you're trying to make things happen, whatever level, let's say in the organizational structure, if you don't have good people skills, hindi ka magsasucceed as either as an
Yes.
employee, as a team, because most businesses, if not all, will not thrive without a team. But if you cannot gel with the team, if you're always clashing with people, if you're if you have a certain type of ego or whatever, it's there, diba? Let's
Yes.
let's not mince words. May ego yan, may pride yan, may ganito kasi ako or ganyan. No.
Yeah.
I don't believe with that. Yung, ganito ako parang, ano yun, everybody will just adjust for you.
Yes.
Diba?
That's why these kind of people, they will not be progressive in corporate environment. Okay, not unless if you're the owner or the son of the owner or child of the owner, di ba?
Do you guys remember yung mga the part of the movie? He had yung mga first franchisers niya. He didn't get along with them,
Yes.
and they would change the quality. Because yung unang people he was looking for was people with money, but they had
the rich ones.
diba? But they had no invested in the business. So after that, he went looking for people who were willing to get their hands dirty and
The middle
put
class.
themselves, diba? To really go into the
Totoo.
business, diba?
Totoo.
The middle
Ownership,
class,
kumbaga,
yes.
diba?
Yes.
Yun yung nakita ko I mean, yeah, these guys have money, they can do it, but they're not gonna follow you. Diba? So mayaman si sir, pakialam nila sa'yo, diba? Sino ka?
And
And if you find somebody that you can make successful, pare, diba? Susundan ko hanggang dulo ng mundo.
Yeah.
But there are people who are also open-minded. Yun nga, yung mga iba rin yung nakakausap na super rich, may-ari ng mga bangko or whatever. And then when they heard this idea, sige, ito, cheque. Diba? Yung cheque nga ng cheque, diba? If you're successful kasi in a business, unless you're jaded na ayaw mo nang gumawa ng iba, pag ganun kasi, if you see that, if I saw that good idea and wow, this is something revolutionary, sige, I'm in. Can I afford it? And then if I can afford it and it's not gonna break my bank, sige, I'm in. Ganun
I
ako.
know. I've seen you several times na ganyan.
Diba?
Nagayitay na lang ako. Ano ba? Ang dami na nating Pero finally, tuwang-tuwa na ako ngayon. Kasi you always see me na.
Okay.
But,
Sige.
sorry.
Una, hindi pa tayo tapos
Hindi pa tayo tapos Jumping off
Meron
from
pa kami
that.
sasabihin ni Vic na bago.
Mas maganda.
Sabay
Later,
ganun
after this show,
May bago
another
naman tayo
show.
gagawin.
May isa pang show pagkatapos nito.
Them coming.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I just
Mamaya,
need to...
nagpatay na nag-out
need
pa
to
ng
push
room
this
si Rosel.
to the discussion. Diba?
Yeah.
Yung sinasabi mo nga that people were set in their ways. In fact, actually, that's, I think, the reason why he and the McDonald's brothers bumped heads. Kasi the McDonald's brothers were set in their ways talaga
Yes,
eh.
true,
Di
true.
ba?
Oo,
And they didn't
oo.
care about,
Yeah.
innovation and everything. They want it this way. Yeah.
And hindi abot ng vision nila yon eh, yung ganong klaseng magnitude.
True.
And
Mhm.
then when he was doing it, I wouldn't blame them that they would have a little bit of like, hey, we started this or whatever,
Mhm.
you're,
Yeah.
di ba? You know, ang ayoko lang doon is that I would have given them a perpetual, kahit na sabihin mong
Dude,
0.01%.
here's the thing.
Royalty, yes.
That's another inaccuracy in the movie.
Okay?
Again, that's inaccuracy.
Why?
Here's the thing. Okay, just give me a few minutes to run through this now. Actually, he said that he ran them out of business in his book. But
Mhm.
actually, they were already retired. They were already retired 2 years before they sold the business to Ray Kroc.
Really?
You mean they
Ang
already
nangyari nun,
closed
Ray
their
Kroc was,
restaurant?
ha?
You
The
mean they
McDonald's
already
brothers were
closed?
retired already. The
So they were
restaurant was
running
still
the...
running.
They were not that old.
Dude,
And
here's the thing. They didn't really care about business. They were artists. They were artisans. They were happy. They were buying new Cadillacs every week. They had
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
Ang
I
point,
remember they even bought a movie house, di ba?
yeah. The point was that ito yon. They were retired but there was a contract. And Ray was not happy with the contract kasi konti lang kinikita niya. So,
Yes.
he called these guys up, sabi niya, okay, what would it take for me to buy you out? Sabi niya, hindi totoo yung nag-heart attack and everything like that. But ang sabi niya, hindi
So
totoo
that,
yun.
ha?
Hindi totoo yun.
Dramatization
It's
lang
a
pala.
drama eh. Basta ang point lang is, okay, you want to buy me out? Buy us out? Give us 2.7 million. We keep the original restaurant, and then we'll give it to our employees. That's it. And the final contract was 2.7 million. They keep that
7.
and they get 0.5% in perpetuity and they're still getting that.
Talaga?
It's in the
Seriously?
contract. Ang
Really?
galit sila,
Interview of who was the one na naiwan, yung nabuhay pa?
yeah, si
Si
Joy,
ano,
yung wife
si
niya who
Dick?
gave it
Si
away.
Dick ang ano, oo.
Yeah.
Wala daw eh.
Based on, well, this is a book on another book.
Another book. But in his interview, he said
Yeah, that's why. But
even
here's the point nga eh. Kasi nga,
the
sabi nung in-interview din si Dick eh.
oo,
Way
napanood
back.
ko yun.
In-interview
Yeah.
din si Dick and sabi niya, hindi totoo yun. They were getting 5%. But Ray Kroc just couldn't resist a last minute needling him and inaasar na naman siya. Ang talagang kinainisan nila, yung silang magkakapatid, is they were erased from the history of McDonald's. Yun yung talagang kinaiinisan nila. Yun yung, because, well, technically, kasalanan naman nila kasi hindi naman nila na ganun kalaki abutin.
Yes. Correct.
They sold it, di ba? Parang ano yun, the guy who sold his
Ferrari.
Monk. Or the guy who sold his Bitcoin or bought it for pizza.
Yeah. That's like a big boo-boo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ayun. Yun ang nakita ko doon and I kind of saw, I don't know. I right now, nung sinabi ni Vic yun, I'm of split mind kung sobra bang ruthless ngayon ni
Ray Kroc.
Oh,
Yeah,
kasi I had from the movie, I had the impression that he was actually more ruthless than what they were trying to put him in with the movie. Diba? Because
maybe that's an image he wanted to portray.
kung makita mo kasi si Ray Kroc dun sa mga interview dun sa final part, there's all the ego and everything there eh. Diba?
Yes.
You can see the bluster, you can see the it's not like a humble victor, diba? It's not he's not like a humble winner or something like that, diba?
Actually, yun nga, hindi nga nilagay doon that di pa nga nilagay doon kasi of course sabi nga natin, libro niya, siya bida, di ba? So, hindi nilagay doon sa libro noon that when they asked him for 2.7 million, he didn't have 2.7 million. So si Harry, yung naging president niya, nag-away din sila, naghiwalay rin sila after.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
That's the guy. He's the guy who looked for investors. In McDonald's lore nga, there is what is known as the 12 apostles. These were the guys who came up with a 2.7 million para kay Ray Kroc.
Oh, so it wasn't from him talaga.
It
It did
wasn't
not
from
come from
him.
his.
Harry
Oh,
found a
okay.
way. Harry found a way to find that
Mm.
kasi 2.7 million yon in today's times. That's what?
Oh
8
man, that's
million
like
in
probably
yeah,
100 million in today's money.
'di ba? Based on 'di ba? On inflation, 'di
Inflation,
ba? Who
'di ba?
had 2.7 million unless Rockefeller ka or somebody like that noong time na yon, 'di ba?
Tapos ang isa pang nakita ko, no? Okay, so at least we saw that now that ang tawag doon, uh, there are inaccuracies talaga in the movie that we cannot really truly judge kung anong personality ni Ray Kroc. But one thing is
Mhm.
for sure, he's done a lot of revolutionary things for across many industries. You know that right now today's society will not be possible without McDonald's, 'di ba?
Yes.
So another thing was yung sa persistence na naman. Putya, inutang pala niya yung bahay niya. Totoo
Oh,
'yun? Totoo 'yun, Vic? Totoo ba 'yun?
Based on the research, totoo raw yun. Inaalam ko.
oo.
Pero ang ganda nung kasi, di ba?
Yung
Kasi,
second wife niya, hindi, yung sa
ah,
story, it's
Yun
not
yung
that
yun yung ano
kinuha.
well,
ko, yung sa ano
here's
niya
the thing.
sa
Yung
oo.
second wife niya is not the second. She's the third.
Yes.
Pero yung love of his
Oo.
life yun, kung tutusin.
Mm.
Yun yung talaga
But yung
soulmate
sec
niya.
Nabasa ko
yung
yun.
wife niyang naging wife niya
Yung
in
original,
the
yung
end
una.
is actually the wife of one of his
Yeah, and
franchisers.
she was the
No, hindi.
third. She was the
Iba.
third wife. Third
It was the
wife.
third wife.
Oh, yun yung talagang totoo. Third wife talaga yun. Talagang hinintay
Mm.
niya.
Oo.
May love
Yung
story pala to.
franchiser, one of his employees,
Yes.
hindi franchisee.
Mhm.
Or franchiser, hindi.
Oh,
Oh,
yan. So,
okay.
there are
Oo.
certain pero
Oo.
mas maganda
There's
kasi sa
hope for
movie.
you yet, Mr. De La Riva.
What? Excuse me?
There's hope for you yet,
Oh,
Mr. De La
syempre.
Riva.
And there's
Let's be
always hope,
sure
di
to
ba? As
hire
long as
really
humihinga
hot
tayo, may hope tayo.
let's hire
Yun.
really hot staff or some
Nax.
Biglang natawa si Gio.
Gail, how are you?
Okay. Making alaga.
yeah, natututo lang siya because she wasn't able to finish some of
Yeah.
the movie.
Ayun
So,
na, nalala mo
May
yun,
comment ako dun sa isang part, yung
ano pa?
when Ray was introducing the powdered milk sa McDonald's brothers. Nanginayang ako kasi malaking savings yun
True.
Hindi
Yun
nila
nga.
hindi nila
I guess yun nga.
in-accept.
Kasi, di ba,
Yeah,
what
that's
we
the
were
that's
discussing.
the hindi nag-meet yung yung
Yeah.
standards and
Yeah.
Masyado silang
Set in their way.
nag-stick dun sa sa gusto nila. Pero ngayon, everybody, ayan, powder na lahat. Even infant
Lalo-
formula, hello.
lalo
Powder.
na siguro kung that time nalaman nila that processed food is really harmful for the body, mas lalong hindi pa nila ginawa yun,
Oh.
di ba?
Yes.
Oh, dahil kasi doon ko
Buti
nakita
na lang hindi ka pa noon buhay.
yung mga 3-in-1 pala. Doon ang
Oh.
galing.
Yes.
Diba?
Oh,
Yung mga 3-in-1.
Diba?
Oo, and I was like really, sabi ko, hinahalo.
Kakape lang
Yung
ako,
una-
di lang.
Di ba yung umpisa, hinahalo nung babae yung unang mix niya, di ba? Na tinaste niya yung vanilla flavor. Yung umpisa parang ganito lang ang kulay parang ano lang, di ba? Clear na yellowish. Pero as
Yes.
he was stirring it, nagiging fluffy, nagiging parang ice cream consistency.
Yes.
Di ba?
Mhm.
So, sabi ko, ang tawag doon. And a lot of the stuff that they use, which is actually harmful to us because
Yes.
of yung tinatawag nating, yung mga, may friends kasi ako noon, ang course naman nila, food tech. So, andyan lahat ng mga, bakit si maltodextrin ginagamit, bakit si agar or guar gum, yung mga ganyan ang ginagamit, yung as binders, as preservatives or whatever, di ba? So, yun pala ang nagkukos sa atin ng metabolic issues because they're not really
Nice.
food.
Nice.
Di ba? So,
Yeah.
ito ko na-realize, sabi ko, this ties into sila talaga din ang culprit in popularizing the SAD or the standard American diet or the SAD diet that's killing people right now. But they didn't know it at that time. In that time, they were really thinking siguro na, hey, we're providing a service to the people because napapagod ng mga tao maghintay ng 30 minutes for their burger or for food, di ba?
Mhm.
So, ayun yung nakita kong doon. There's both good and bad, no? Na with the kind of diet alone, Okay? Because diyan kasi nag-stem yan lahat eh. That's why yung mga anak natin, they're not actually as healthy as, or yung mga nakikita nating mga millennials ngayon, they're not as healthy as us. We're not as healthy as our parents because yung mga parents natin, the developing days nila, puro, ang tawag doon?
But I would have to
Yeah.
say we're not as healthy as our grandparents.
True.
Diba?
True. Dahil kasi ang grandparents natin talaga is like, ubusin mo ang gulay mo, kundi hagupitin kita, yung mga ganun, di ba? That was a time for like that. And there wasn't much processed wheat products during that time, di ba? Later na lang naman talaga yung over-processed, ultra-processed wheat product na ginagamit natin for breads na GMO pa to boot.
Mhm.
So anyway, but nag-evolve din yan because of that eh.
Yeah.
Of the demand eh, di ba?
So kumbaga, ibig sabihin, it's better if we go back to the original McDonald's, di ba? Yung all natural lahat.
Mhm.
Well, I could, if we probably set up a place like that, like, I think it's going to remember our Dapitan Burger?
Yeah.
Diba? How
Sinasabi niya, I wanted to go there.
Napunta tayo
how long?
doon, may
Sige,
mag-food
pag
crawl tayo.
It's still open.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Oo. You know what?
Near Banawe ba yan? Bigla akong naging interested. Somewhere near Banawe, Dapitan Banawe. Hahanapin.
Diretso ka pang pa Manila, paglampas mo ng Mayon, about 3 or 4 cantos to your left, you'll see a smoking smokestack with a lot of people outside.
Yeah.
That's the burger place. It doesn't have a freaking sign. So, okay, ang nakita ko pang good trait niya is that he really looks for the target market and he goes there. Ang sipag niyang magpunta. Like, he went to the Salvation Army parties, diba?
Straight to San Bernardino to visit yung McDonald's restaurant. Bumilib na ako doon. Tapos kumari, he's just around the corner lang daw, diba? Pero talagang sinadya niya yung sobrang layong yun.
Yun nga.
Grabe, nakakabilib.
Sabi ko,
Stalker pala siya. No?
What kind of persistence, diba? What kind ang tawag doon? Drive he has to like, kasi curiosity lang yun ha. Hindi drove across the country from the east coast to the west coast. Makikita mo yung Highway 66. That's a famous highway. That's why they call it the Route 66. Doon namatay yata si James Dean, di ba, Vic? So, riding his Porsche, overspeeding, crashed. So that's doon namatay si James Dean. So Route 66 yon. That's east to west. That's the old ano tawag doon?
One of the most famous highways in America.
True.
If I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Kaya may kanta, di ba?
Tapos nakita mo na later on, he built his team kahit na hindi niya sinasadya. Di ba? There was suddenly this business genius which showed him that you have to do this, you have to do that. Kailangan ilabas mo sila ganito, ilabas mo sila McDonald's. Who's that guy? The Jew guy, di ba?
Si Sorbonne.
That was Harry. Si Harry, yung nasa bank na narinig yung kwento niya.
Yes. That's the guy who recommended.
Yeah, the president of that or vice president of that company that sold ice cream.
Yes.
Yeah. So yun, nabuo yung team niya. And makikita mo doon, he still kept the people who were loyal to him. Diba? Like the lady who was just a secretary before, biglang naging, diba? Naging vice president and whatnot, diba?
Order taker, secretary.
Because in the end din kasi, it's not all about, I think most vice presidents, they don't really know a lot about how the nitty-gritty of the operations are. Okay? They just know enough and the president trusts them. Yun lang.
Yeah.
I think that's the most and there's
Do you trust me?
Ha?
You trust me?
Huwag ko lang mawawala ulit ha. Mamimiss kita. Hindi. Of course. Otherwise, di ba? Hindi ko na, sino ba tong Rosel na to? Ito ko pinag-PM nito.
Ako parang lahat na lang ino-offer sa akin. Walang katapusan. Nag-crypto pa tayo.
Baka ikaw na yung susunod na Ray Kroc, ha?
Ray Kroc.
Malay natin, di ba?
So yun, makikita mo as the business was developing, the business actually consumed Ray Kroc.
Mhm.
As in, there was nothing he was not doing that was not McDonald's business. Yun nga rin na napabayaan yung first wife niya, di ba? Which I think was kind of sad, di
Sige,
ba?
we will
Because,
see later.
pero I don't know lang. I don't know lang what happened with, of course, we don't know what really happened in the sidelines. Pero, anyway, yun lang yung pinalabas nila. Siyempre, story
Pero,
nila.
di ba? You saw him as a salesman do sa start ng movie. Were you like that when you were
Okay,
selling
when I was with the first
SMBs?
one.
Yeah.
Jogo ka bigla.
Hindi. Ano ba ako? Yeah, masipag ako noon. Masipag ako because, it's like the girls were still small. Kailangan paaralin, kailangan paduduin, kailangan ipadoktor and everything. I was honestly surprised that we made it because it was not only me. Sometimes we had to ask for help from my father, from my titas, from relatives niya. It was dahil kasi it's not like, you know what? Ngayon pag may trabaho ka na, it's not the same as may trabaho ka back in the 50s or the 60s na isa lang nagtatrabaho, yung tatay lang, and then
Yeah.
talagang yung nanay nakatutok sa mga kids. And then that tatay throughout all of those how many years of study, 14 years of study or whatnot, napapatapos niya. 'Di ba? Like my lolo, 'di ba? Napatapos niya yung ng college yung mga tita ko and then tito ko and my 'di ba? So it really surprises me and that if you're thinking about ito naman, balik tayo ulit sa movie. The combo meal of a burger and fries and Coke or beverage, orange juice, 'di ba, during that time was 35 cents. That's 1/3 of $1. So which is like in our time today, if that was $1 divided by 60 divided by 3, that's
30,
20, around
30.
15 pesos
15, yeah.
or
15.
16 pesos. 16
Yes.
pesos, meron kang burger, meron kang fries, meron kang drinks. That's how fantastic inflation has taken everything from the poor. Because
Yes.
I could remember nung swelduhan ako back in 1997 to early 2000. Sweldo ko was only 15,000. Pero nakakapag-groceries kami, masaya kami, we can watch movies or whatever. And right now, 15,000 is like, oh my God! Diba? Wala na value. Minsan nag-grocery ako noon, nung sa amin, and umabot ng something like 3,000 pesos. This was like, dahil ang dami talagang kailangan bilhin. Mahalang gatas eh. Mas lalo pang bumahal ngayon. So ngayon, kung ako nga, nagugulat ako sa cost back during that time and then I saw the how expensive things were going. Paano pa kaya ngayon? And then paano pa kaya mga anak
I
natin?
know. Kita mo nga, Sofia is still, di ba?
Diba? Paano yung mga anak natin?
Mhm.
That's really worrying me because kung tayo ngayon, I mean, before you can buy a house and lot in Metro Manila.
Now, condo na lang.
Now, you can only buy it in condo na lang or you can buy it in the provinces.
Yes.
Diba? And even still, yung sa provinces, halos hindi na rin realistic.
Mahal na rin. Yeah.
True, mahal na rin.
Ang price, Cavite area.
Antipolo?
3 million.
Oh my God, magugulat ka.
1 bedroom, 2 bedroom.
So, paano yung mga hindi nakamana ng lupa? Paano yung mga, they're totally disenfranchised, diba? So anyway, yun yung nag-digress. Because yun yung nakita ko kasing diferensya in terms, natanong mo kasi kung gaano ako kasipag, I had to work for it. Nataguyod naman. And thank God, maayos naman yung mga bata. And doon ko nga nakita yung super negative effect ng inflation na naramdam ko yun as a father because naabutan ko sila from baby pa lang yung mga anak ko hanggang ngayon and then oh my God, 60,000 ang per year? Oo, yung iba nga 60,000 per semester eh. Diba?
Not per year, per semester yung
Hindi,
60,000.
mas mura. Kalahati yung sa daughter ko sa province because doon siya sa province eh. Doon na
Okay.
my ex is has resettled there sa province nila. So, even though maganda yung quality because she graduated there sa same school where my youngest is studying at. Now, what I'm getting at is this, kung ano, I mean, right now, more so than ever, money ang nagpapatakbo talaga. Kung wala kang
Yes.
pera, anyway. So sigurado that will be for another talk. Maybe we should have a talk for Gayleen, maybe you could write about inflation. And yun, so balik na tayo kay Ray Kroc because ang daming nauungkat no as we go along the story. Another thing is okay, ito pa yung takeaway ko. Maybe you guys, I don't know if you guys took notes in terms of like when you were watching the movie. Share away ha. Pero ito yung final share ko. Sabi nung mga McDonald's brothers is that before we used to be selling chicken, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. And when we found out that 87%, the majority of our sales came from burgers, fries, and beverage, we just
Yes.
concentrated on kasi that simplifies their logistics, that simplifies everything else, which always been yan. Si Vic has always been a stickler for sticking to less moving parts. I always hear that from him. That's why, nare-rein in naman ako kahit paano, di ba? So, thanks to my partner. Hey, baby. Joke lang.
I'm gonna cut this part
Sabi ko
out.
na eh.
That's
Alam
not.
ko na.
Come on.
I'll be cutting that part out just for everybody's
Kaya
knowledge.
when I saw your photo sa Sangkaterba, na
It's something I
pinosting
appreciate.
yung
I appreciate.
throwback, ay nako, I noticed that.
I appreciate.
Sige, go.
May kulang nga doon eh. May isa kaming kasama na kamote na hindi namin nakikita.
Kasi hiniram daw yung kotse, pare. Wag, di ba? Pabayaan mo na hiniram daw yung kotse tas late na dumating kaya hindi nakahabol. Hindi, joke lang. So anyway, kayo, ano po yung mga takeaways niyo doon?
There's one
Pero still
thing that if I really like if there's one thing they would ask me that I really liked about the movie. Do you remember when he was nag-ocular siya dun sa first spot niya?
Mm-hmm.
Remember he's doing a lot. He's selling this, he's selling that, he's doing this, selling that. And then he was touching the ground. He said
Yes,
this,
I like
you only need to be right once.
Yes, yes.
I mean, relatively he was successful.
Yung
he was still looking for something.
Diba?
Yeah. Sabi niya, you only need to be right once.
Once, yes.
Yeah, yun lang. And I guess that was his unicorn na kumbaga. Diba?
I like that part. Very dramatic.
Actually, yun nga eh. When nakarelate ako doon eh. Nakarelate ako doon sa
Actually, dyan wag kang gagalaw kasi mukha kang Michael Keaton na dyan sa mukha ka ng the founder eh. The founder ng Unipromedia.
Tayo yun, pare. Actually, media naman talaga. We were not supposed to be here until...
Lalagay kita doon kasi you are the face. I'm just the guy who behind the scenes ako.
He's the back end.
Clarify that.
The one behind the scenes.
Again, I will be cutting that out.
He takes care of all.
Bibip ko na yan.
Pero anyway. Oh, okay. Still kasi nag-divert na tayo eh. Sige, natin. Because we're about to sige, mag-transition tayo formally.
Okay,
so,
before,
finalize with the founder, guys.
Yes.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Ikaw, Rosel, go ahead.
Ikaw naman.
Sa akin, I mean, it's a great movie. It gives you a lot of ideas. It kind of gives you insight into the mind of how it is to run a multi-billion-dollar business. Right? But ang gusto ko sana for the next review natin, not exactly a movie. I sent a link to the GC. It's a reality TV show.
I saw it.
Ay, maganda din yun.
Undercover Billionaire. Dude, I watched it. I know it's a reality TV, so may mga scripted on. But dude, it was a really good show. And it had lots of great lessons talaga. So I
Yes.
hope that's the next one we review because it's actually pretty much in the same vein as the founder, and it's actually I feel it's really very relevant to what we're doing now.
That
Yeah.
is specific episode.
The entire series, 8
Okay.
episodes lang naman, maiksi lang naman siya.
I'm gonna watch it. I already watched the first episode. Yung nag-uumpisa siya and he was sleeping in his car tapos he had only $100, di ba?
Yes.
Hindi pa
I
ako
saw
umaabot dun sa point na he managed to earn what he needed to survive man lang. Di ba? Hindi pa ako umaabot dun how he managed to do that. Ano pa nga ba? Meron ako naisip kasi kanina eh. Ruthlessness, perseverance and persistence. Kayo guys, wala ba kayong maisip pa? Alam ko, hindi meron pa ako naisip na alam kong hindi ko naisabi pa. Towards the end, he became successful. Multiple franchises around the world. Approach in business is cutthroat. During that time was the 70s. So, andun sila Ayakoka, sila Trump and whatever. Doon talaga yung
Yeah.
kultura nila na
Like you also probably when you're watching the movie, you'd see that at some points he's actually doubting himself. Diba? He would doubt him.
Yeah.
There were some points that he would sometimes doubt himself and
Like
frustrated talaga siya,
like
diba?
when the wifey said that here you are again doing something new. And then he went
Yes.
back to selling milkshake machines.
Mhm.
Diba? And then he just got freaking tired of it and nagalit na siya and he just went ahead and did it anyway. Diba? Si Ray Kroc, natsyempohan niya ngayon yung item na gusto niyang i-develop at ibenta and give value to the world. So yung massive value to yun, that's why he became a multi.
Yeah.
Actually, meron pa nga tayo, hinahanap ko yung pinadala mo, Rosel, na link, yung mga 6 takeaways ba from the founder. Do you have it with you? Can you enumerate that link?
It's in our diba? Facebook group.
Ayun, 10 career reasons, lessons from
And
the founder.
career lessons. Yes.
So, persistence. Yan, pag-usapan na natin. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent won't. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Don't we all know that? Genius won't. Unrewarded genius is practically a cliche. Education won't. The world is full of educated fools. Persistence and determination alone are all powerful. But sobrang dramatic lang kasi because persistence and determination but you don't have a plan. I think that you don't have a timetable.
Vic doesn't want it if we don't have a plan.
Yeah, you have to have a system, di ba? 2 is you are not too old. Oh my God.
Yeah. Look at us.
Hindi, pero I mean, if you will look at Ray Kroc or you will look at
We're 52 years old, diba?
Keaton, I mean, matanda talaga tingnan ang mga Caucasians than Asians, no? At that.
Yeah.
Shoot for the moon.
Hello. Yung role naman ni Michael Keaton, how old is he nung ginawa niya yung movie na yan?
Maybe about approaching
Older, diba?
siguro. Oo. I was like thinking him from the Batman movies pa, di ba? Na
Yeah.
he was being branded as a guwapo, di ba? So, okay. Shoot for the moon. Okay? That's what we're
I love
doing.
that quote, shoot for the moon even if you miss, you land among the stars.
Yeah. You land among the stars, di ba?
I thought it was the clouds.
Stars.
Stars lang.
Stars yung quote eh. Anyway, shoot for the moon, that's like yung sasabi nga nila, you don't serve the world by playing small. 'Di ba laging gano'n ang naririnig natin? 'Di ba? You don't serve the world by being small. Be open-minded and inquisitive. O kita mo network marketing, open-minded daw, 'di ba?
Open-minded ka ba?
Open-minded ka ba?
Open-minded.
Tara, kape tayo.
Open-minded ka ba?
Kape tayo. Tara,
Diba?
kape tayo.
Power.
Pero that's one of the things. Ayan, sige. So, ganon. Ako actually, you guys know me to be a before I shared this thing about almost disdain for network marketing. But when I studied the system, when I studied what ethical network marketing, professional network marketing, when I joined Unicity, though hindi perfect ang system ng Unicity, it can be made to work. If people will really just work on it, kaya pwede.
Mhm.
Except there has to be a certain thing to make it work for Filipinos. Because Thai people made it work. And Unicity is so big there. So anyway, the thing is, most Filipinos are too stuck up on what they don't know. And another thing is, they're too stuck up on, ay, network marketing na naman yan, scam yan, or whatever. Okay? But the thing is, yung sinasabi ko nga sa mga tao is, nalulunod ka na. Saan mo kukunin ang baon ng mga anak mo next month? Saan mo kukunin yung pangrenta at meralco mo next month? And I'm offering you an opportunity. This is like salbabida. Binibigyan kita ng salbabida. Mamimili ka pa ng kulay. Di ba? Di ba? Ay, pink. Macho ako eh. Di ba? Pag nakita ako ng mga tao asa salbabida na pink, baka pagtawanan ako. It's the same thing. If the people see me doing network marketing, ay, naghihirap na ba si Rosel? Ay, ang tawag, ano nangyari na sa'yo, Vic? Yung mga ganun, di ba? But the thing is,
if you're going to listen to other people,
yun.
wala kang mararating.
Wala kang mararating. And that's the reason wala silang nararating. They're not open-minded. They don't think big. Pero the network marketing industry is one of the industries who have, besides probably the sales industry in general, selling industry. It's like within the top 3 or something na pinakamaraming ginawang milyonaryo.
Yeah.
Hindi yung hindi yung sobrang naging yaman. Yung tipong naging comfortable lang sila na milyonaryo, 'di ba? So maraming ginawa dito sa Pilipinas. You can literally if you go to any network marketing company, they can rant off about 20 people who made it big in different network marketing companies all throughout. Ang problema, walang financial education. Kaya lubog din sila, 'di ba? Utang, ganyan. But they had the capital. They have 40 million pesos from the business when they quit. Yung mga ganon. So anyway, that's just me and my passion about network marketing because that's leveraging Okay, that's creating a distribution network. They just don't realize it. That's what McDonald's did. They're not also not only in the real estate business. They're also in the networking business. 'Di ba? Because people who knew people who knew people who knew people, yun ang mga naging franchisers
Yes.
'Di ba?
Oh, and I remember they have this McDonald's. I don't know if it was McDonald's who revolutionized the McDonald's University. Na even a lot of organizations now they have that academy or university, they call it that. Pero training lang 'yon. Training.
Diba?
Diba?
So, but that's what should be Actually, pinag-usapan namin din kasi ni Vic yan.
Ano ba? Bakit laging kayong dalawa lang nag-uusap?
Paano kasi siya tumatawag sa akin sa umaga
Saka
diba?
Lagi, ngayon ko lang nagpapakita uli. Dati
Oo. Dapat nga, pwede naman tayo mag-zoom sa umaga kung gusto mo. Sasabihin mo, I'm feeding Sophia pie. I'm preparing her for her class. Diba? Anyway, yung pinag-usapan namin kanina was like, how was I a down and out IT guy making websites who made a good business doing IT business and then nag-crash because of the .com in late 2000, lost the family, was living on barely 20 pesos a day, sobrang depressed because I literally felt everything, just lost my car, lost the condo, lost everything. Lost the respect of my in-laws, 'di ba? Syempre, parang my name was even prohibited na sabihin sa household nila during that time.
Wow.
Okay. I mean,
Voldemort
ganun
ka pala.
Because I was the ultimate loser and they don't want to be I think they don't want to be because people sometimes want to be not to be associated with a loser. Okay? And I would admit na hindi ako nag-pivot right away. It's like it hit me like I was like between a rock and a hard place and I got squished. Anyway, what happened was, nung nakabangon ako, is because yung sinabi ni Vic na if there's an opportunity, just take it and learn it along the way. Yung nasabi ni, who's that? Vic? Si Branson.
Yeah.
Di ba? Learn it after. So, just so happens, real estate people, managers, they got me through to SMDC. Saktong-sakto, my cousin who was a high-level IT guy in Singapore, pinamanahan ako ng magagandang. I did not expect it, but just as I was about to start my SMDC stint, which is really weird, maybe a month before, sabi niya sa akin, Kuya Bong, I really kind of like, alam mo, it's emotional to me because nagkuma uminom kami dun sa inuman sa kanto ng Taft Avenue and Quirino. Vic, alam mo yan, di ba? Taft Avenue and Quirino, yung may papasok papuntang Mabini, di ba? Sa kantong yun na parang Y siya eh. Di ba? This is Quirino and this is that street and then Taft ito. So, okay, why am I emotional? Because it is given to me by my beloved brother also, which is Eugene De Mejilio. He was my cousin and he was my first best friend, and he was doing so well with his employment in Singapore. He worked for EMC or whatever. History lang guys, ano. And then tinawag niya ako, Kuya Bong, I'm here. Talaga ganito. Magkita tayo sa ganito, ganyan ganyan ganyan. So I was like, okay, sige. Nagmotorsiklo lang ako. And then, yeah, this car, during that time, bago pa yung Mazda car na talagang gustong-gusto ko. And then, may inano siya sa akin na ang tawag doon, na mga damit. Tapos, it's just a bag na I was able to strap onto my bike. It was full of really nice clothes. As in, top tier clothes pero pinaglakihan na niya dahil tumaba siya eh. Pinstripe shirts, mga pants that I had to, buti nakatupi yung pants niya dahil kasi shorter than me. So, ang ginagawa ko, inaalis ko lang yung pagkatupi and then tinutupi ko sa dulo para umabot sa akin and pinaplansya ko or pinapasastri ko para dumiretso siya. So, those were my starting clothes and I looked good even though I only had 80 pesos in my pocket during that time. And then, bibili lang ako ng itlog sa SM because nung unang ganon, wala ka pang sweldo sa umpisa. You're poor for the first 2 weeks until you get your 7,500 sa quincenas. You start from first of the month and then you sa quincenas, meron ka ng 7,500. Ayun, medyo na-feed ko na ng konti yung sarili ko. Okay, how was this guy? Down and out, doesn't have any real estate experience, sales. And then pinadala ako sa Dubai and I became one of the top sellers there. Okay, out of 20 professional sellers from different companies, Ayala, Mega World, whatever, Robinsons, even SMDC na local, yon nag-graduate to international because international sales agad kasi ako eh. Hindi ako pinaalis agad because binablock ng mga authorities yung pag-alis ko. Gagasusan mo lang yang si Agudo. Wala namang experience yan, wag mo na, fire mo na lang yan. Hindi, pinaglaban ako ni Sir Don Teves. So, Sir Don, thank you very much. You really stood up for me. So, anyway, punta ako ng Dubai, 1 month and 1 week, wala akong benta. 2 months lang kami doon 2 months lang kami. And my manager, I forgot his name na, sorry. He was hysterical. Tony, anong ginagawa mo dyan? Wala ka pang benta. Ano ka na dyan? Magsi 6 weeks ka na. Sabi ko sa kanya, Sir, wag mo kong iganyan. Paano ko sa I'm really doing my best. And I'm putting myself in the right mindset right now because I'm about to talk with a client. Anyway, to make a long story short, the next week, the sales start coming in. Okay? Now, what happened was, I was evolving through this process. Paano ko bang ibebenta to and whatever. And then I really studied the product well. I studied the company and whatever. Ano yung gustong makita ng buyer? So what ended up was, in the last 2 to 3 weeks before I had to go back to Manila, yung quota ko na 30 million, eventually umabot na ng 43 million. So I was like, pag ako, it's a very emotional time for me. And then umuwi ako. It was a Saturday or Friday night. Of course, madaling araw na ako dumating dito. Nobody was there to fetch me with my rickety luggage and whatever, di ba? I went home, got on a taxi, went home, to my rundown room because that time I didn't have anything else. This is a room that had the roof leaking, puro daga and everything. So of course, I had to fix everything because nobody was there to take care of my room, and my room had daga, ipis, and everything. So everything was spoiled. Everything was na magulo. My bed was dusty and everything. So that's what I went home to. Pero I was happy because I achieved my goal. Okay, edi nalinis ko yan. Saturday nung araw na, naglinis na ako ng bahay and everything. And of course, Sunday, try to, bonded with some of my friends. And then, Monday, pasok na naman. Sabi ko, ano ba yun? Kakabalik ko lang from Dubai. Salang na naman ako sa trabaho dito sa Manila. So yun, I took my Motorstar scooter or underbone. Pasok ako ng SMDC. I live all the way from Araneta Avenue, which is near St. Luke's area, all the way to Mall of Asia. Minomotor ko yan araw-araw. Okay? Whether rain nor shine, no excuses. If you're late, you're late. You get only so very few lates and absences with SMDC. So talagang umuwi ako at nagpupunta akong opisina ng basa talaga. So what I do is I just change my socks and whatever and my whatever else. So ganun ang quality ng work. Persistence, yun. And then, nung pagdating ko ng Monday, hindi ako yung flashing na dumari, hey guys, whatever, hindi ganon. I wasn't, in work, at that work, I would always go towards the corner and I would work there. Ganon lang ako. I wasn't there to play games. Nung pagdating ko doon, I was approaching our table, buong international team under Sir Don, nagsitayuan. And literally, I was like, naluha ako because I was the last person that they expected would survive Dubai, much less be a top seller. So, ang property ko na binenta is the Rose sa may kanto ng Ortigas at yung sa may University of Life. Okay, so, where's the Zoom? Okay, so the first one was persistence. Yan, nakita natin nga yan. Yun. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent won't. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius won't. Unrewarded genius is practically cliche. Education won't. The world is full of educated fools. Persistence and determination alone are all powerful. But of course, sa tayo in this age, we have to have system, we have to have education, we have to have certain stuff to be successful. Okay, not only persistence and determination, yung pala wala kang mapa, diba? You have to have a map where you wanna go. Otherwise, you'll just spinning your wheels. You are not too old, which is number 2 with Ray Kroc's So the thing is, marami kasi mga tao sabi nila, I'm 50, I'm too old for that or whatever. Hindi tumitigil si Ray Kroc. He was 52 when he joined the McDonald's company or yung mga McDonald's brothers, di ba? That's when he started, 52, and I'm just 50 now. So, shoot for the moon. Sabi nga nila, ang tawag doon, shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. But another thing is, without ambition kasi, okay, a lot of things will not be possible in this world Diba? Like the 4-minute mile, reaching the moon, now we're aiming for Mars, diba? So these are, these are like, ang masasabi ko lang yung audacity ng mga taong to, like si Elon Musk and all the other mga CEOs and whatnot. No? So sabi nga nung isa sa movie din is, playing small won't serve the world. Okay? Hindi magiging benefit yan sa world. So ayun, be open-minded and inquisitive. So that means like, don't just turn down an opportunity and you would have, prejudice against one opportunity over the other. Okay? Everybody knows I'm a proponent of professional and ethical network marketing because everything is a network. Then the McDonald's business is a network. Diba? The franchise owners, okay, they're a network. Kumbaga, anong tawag doon? Paano nakilala yan ng McDonald's? Di kakilala ng kakilala ng kakilala ng kakilala. Okay? It's not just like ang mangyayari before, did you guys, di ba when nung uso yung magtayo ng McDonald's dito and Jollibee, remember? Magkano si Jollibee was 10 million And McDonald's has
7 million.
7 million pa nga, 'di ba? Ang McDonald's, 'di ba?
Sa tita ko, she was offered way back 1 million lang.
Oh my
Nagsisi-wait
God.
siya.
Imagine if we did that. 'Di ba? Imagine if we were like already this kind of minded and we bought like
We have that money
and we
that
did
time.
10 McDonald's, how much are we going to be earning? Okay, so
Yes.
now people during that time they did not know McDonald's was going to be this big, 'di ba? But they saw something na baka pwede kong gawin. Baka pwede ako mag-invest dito. So if they were like standard thinkers then that McDonald's wouldn't be as big as it is. And quality is important. So dito nga yung mga McDonald's brothers, they always were a stickler for quality, 'di ba? So ang maganda kasi sa sistema ng McDonald's is that kahit na 30 seconds lang nabigay na sa yung burger mo, hindi hilaw yung burger mo, 'di ba?
Yes.
Because they have the system. Pag gagawin mo like the traditional one, you take the order and then you wait for your order. Why? Ilalabas pa lang ng cook yung frozen burger patty. And then saka pa lang lulutuin. Ano mangyayari? Tendency magiging raw yung gitna. 'Di ba? So, yan. Tapos become a great storyteller. Okay? I think that is especially more relevant today than ever because right now when we talk about branding, when we talk about marketing, it's really all about the story. Alam natin yan, people listen to the story. And of course, be methodical and data-driven. Yun yung si Dick McDonald. He was really into the details, into the degrees of how many degrees yung fries to be cooked, di ba? So yan. And then do an exceptional job whatever you do. Okay? So yun yung ang tawag doon. Like there's this guy who was like doing the fries and nagustuhan siya or yung nagto-turn pala ng mga burgers. So doon nagustuhan niya siya ng attitude niya ni Ray Kroc. That's why he became an officer or an official later with McDonald's, di ba? And the last thing, number 9, dami pala nito. Okay. Be proactive. So nakita niya na anong tawag doon? Narinig niya, na-overhear niya yung conversation ni Ray Kroc with the bank manager, 'di ba? Na behind siya sa payment. So nung niya, nakita niya yung opportunity kasi ng business ni Ray Kroc. Kaya nung lumabas si Ray Kroc ng bangko, hinabol niya. Because maraming mga tao hindi nakakahiyang i-approach, baka masama ang araw niya, 'di ba? Na-reject siya sa bangko, baka i-reject ako or whatever. So, yun, yung do not be afraid. Go ahead and do it. If you have a feeling that, hey, I need to talk with this person. Hey, I need to network here. Yung mga ganun ba? You do it. You just do it, kumbaga. Yun. And the last one is be kind and grateful. Okay? Sabi dito nung writer dun sa shinare mo, I would have respected Mr. Kroc much more had he treated the McDonald's brothers fairly, honored the 1% annual royalty he promised over the handshake deal. Well, annual nga pala yon. So, it should be
Anak!
We don't know. We don't know nga kung We don't know kung may kung may sabi nga ni Vic parang hindi yon, may 0.5%. Okay? They were the ones who introduced the speedy system that allowed burgers and other food to be delivered in 30 seconds. So, ayun. So, importante lang din. Ako, for me, very important sa akin yung kindness and gratitude. And also at the same time being a force for good in the world. Ayoko ayoko yung may naapi, ayoko yung may feeling na naisahan. Because I'm pretty sure yun ang naramdaman ng mga brothers and I don't think that's such a good feeling to have. So anyway, that's a principle of mine, but during that time kasi very very cutthroat ang mga business during the 70s and late 60s. Yun yung time nila yung mga Trump and who's that, si Lee Iacocca sa car industry. So talagang ganon, dog eat dog talaga noon.
Yes.
And law of the jungle. And there was a time ganon ang turo sa akin, yung do not be merciful, hindi ka sobrang bait mo, yun ang sinasabi sa akin. And so, even up until now. So anyway, I'm really a good guy, but I wanna prove also that good guys don't finish last. So That's one of the things that nice guys pala. That's one of the things I want to prove wrong. So anyway, yun ang 10 learnings from the 36paths.com na review ng the founder, which is Ray Kroc of McDonald's. So anyway guys, so tapos na tayo sa discussion. So that's it. I-end na ni Direct Vic ang talk because kanina pa ako nagra-ramble. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, thank you very much for your patience. So okay. Good night everyone. So meron pa bang mga pa-goodbye dyan? We're closing the show.
Don't forget to follow Coach Tony on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Oh, let's agree to agree. We're gonna be launching our season 2. Okay, hopefully
That's
next
my
week.
deadline next week.
Okay, next week na tayo for season 2, episode 1 of Let's Agree to Agree. And episode 3 nitong may kabuluhan talks.
Yep. Oh yeah, don't forget, dude. Tell them to watch out for the new show hosted by Coach Tony and Coach Rosell.
Yeah,
Crafted ka na,
tayo.
di ba?
Yes.
Boss Talks.
Meron
with
tayong
Coach Tony.
self-development.
Talks.
Yes, Boss Talks. So, sa Boss Talks, it's about business, obsessions, style, and stuff. Okay, so we're also gonna be talking with bosses and also how we'll give guidelines and tips on how to become bosses ourselves of our own lives. Okay, so Coach Rosell, final words, please.
Yeah, this is a very interesting talk. I enjoyed it really, really so much. So hopefully we'll be doing a lot of these things soon.
Oo.
Yung ano lang, ako talaga, ikaw sa persistence, ako yung take ko dito kay sa story ng The Founder, yung part na, anong number ba yon? Ay, do an exceptional job, whatever you do. Kasi, one of my favorite quotes, yung kay Martin Luther King, sabi niya, if a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. So ako, sa work ko, ganun din ako. I really do my best. I really give out my best. And hopefully, I would be, very consistent on that. I've always been like that. Medyo na lang, biglang gumewang. Gumewang. Actually, hindi nga gumewang. Muntik na talagang, pero I'm back. I'm really back.
Okay.
So, let's do it, guys.
Oh, I'll add to that. Sorry, hindi na to magtatagal. Yung sabi nga nila, if you are what you consistently do, then excellence is a habit or something like that. Ano yung saying na yon? Vic, do you remember that? Excellence is then
I vaguely remember. I'm trying to recall. Sorry.
Diba? I think that's an Adidas ad or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yun, if you wanna be branded as an excellent as a person of excellence, then you should also perform in an excellent way. Yan din yung yung material doon. So, Gaylene, sige. So, walang audio masyado si Gay. Okay, down yung audio niya. So, good night, guys. So, again, yung mga shows natin, kindly follow. Kindly look at the description below. Okay, kung ano yung mga ipa-follow ninyo. So, good night, guys. God bless.
Good night. God bless.
Learn well and live well. Bye-bye, everyone.